The following programming is EI, educational and informative.
Today on Mystery Hunters, an ice mummy is found after being frozen in a glacier for thousands of years. Who was he? And who was responsible for his death? I'm scaling the Italian Alps to solve this 5,000-year-old mystery. Hey, look at this. Could that be what killed him?
In 1917, a man named Tom Thomson paddled away in a canoe and was never seen alive again. Did another person cause his death? Or was it something more mysterious? I'm retracing his steps.
And Doubting Dave shows you how to generate your own mysterious forces at home.
We'll make a mini tornado in the lab, study its weaknesses, then we'll know how to fight them. All you need is 2 clear plastic soda bottles.
This is Mystery Hunters.
Right back with more Mystery Hunters. We now return to Mystery Hunters.
In 1991, 2 tourists found something they didn't expect. The frozen body of a man. This is where they found him, in these mountains. An ice mummy. He was lying on a glacier like this, hidden for over 5,000 years. When the police dug him out of the ice, they found his possessions lying next to him. A knife, an axe, a bow. They named him Otzi after this region. Who was he? And what happened to him way up here in the mountains of Italy? Did Otzi die from the cold? Or did something else happen to Otzi? I've got a 5,000-year-old mystery to solve. Hey, over here. Gunter Kirschenbauer is a mountain guide. Do a lot of people get lost or stuck up here like Otzi?
Oh, sure. It's a dangerous place here. You can slip and fall. It's very dangerous.
Maybe Otzi got injured and couldn't walk anymore. He could have frozen to death. Or fallen through the ice. Where's Otzi now?
I'll show you.
Great. So, is this what he looked like?
Yeah. We built this model on the information we had.
From the things they found with him, they figured out that Otzi probably looked a lot like this when he was alive. I thought he could have frozen to death on that glacier, but his clothes look so warm.
Yes, these clothes are pretty warm because you have to keep in mind that the Iceman lived on the mountains. And of course, he had equipment for making fire and so on.
So if he didn't freeze to death, how did Otzi die? One thing they found with Otzi gives a clue about who he might have been. It looks like he might have been on a hunting trip. He even brought an axe. His axe was made out of copper, which was very rare back then. Not just anyone would have a copper axe. Otzi must have been someone very rich and powerful to own one of these. So where's the real Otzi, the mummy?
The real Otzi is over there in this box called the Iceman box. Let's go.
I'm heading towards the Iceman box. I'm about to come face to face with a 5,000-year-old man.
A phantom canoeist is said to haunt this lake. Some people believe it could be the ghost of Tom Thomson, a man who died here under mysterious circumstances. Tom Thomson was a famous artist who painted Canada's northern wilderness. On July 8th, 1917, he waved goodbye to his friend, Ranger Mark Robinson, as he paddled off for a short fishing trip. Thomson would never be seen again alive. Could his ghost be trying to tell us something about his death? I heard there's some kids camping across the lake who know something about Tom's story. I wonder if Tom's ghost is really out here. It's so calm on this lake. I wonder what could have happened to him. Hi. How's everybody doing?
Good.
All right, well, I'm investigating the Tom Thomson mystery. Do you guys know anything about it?
Nobody knows for sure how he died.
I think he was murdered here in Canoe Lake.
I think his ghost is still around.
There's a lot of talk in this area that Tom's ghost is still around. Maybe trying to tell people what really happened. I'm going to the island where his body was found. Maybe the ghost will be there too. Thomson's body was found here 9 days after he had disappeared. This is his death certificate. It says that he tipped out of his canoe, hit his head on a rock, and then accidentally drowned. But Tom Thomson was an expert canoeist, and he was in top physical condition. People who knew him didn't believe Tom drowned by accident. They became even more suspicious when they read this report. Check this out. It says here that there was a fishing line wrapped neatly around his left ankle. And Thomson had no water in his lungs when he was found. Drowning victims' lungs are usually filled with water. Was Tom Thomson's death really an accident? I found an old tape recording that might hold the key to this mystery. Listen to this.
He took Tom's body and put it into a canoe and dropped it in the lake.
Okay, now I know who to go talk to about Tom Thomson's death.
We'll be right back with more Mystery Hunters. We now return to Mystery Hunters.
A 5,000-year-old body was found on this glacier. Who was he? And what was he doing there? I'm about to meet Ötzi, the ice mummy. Wow. There he is, the 5,000-year-old man. The ice turned him into a mummy. He's the oldest mummy in the world. He doesn't look so peaceful, though. I need to get a closer look. Can I go inside?
No, it's not permitted because the conditions are constant inside.
No one's allowed inside the Iceman box. It might damage the mummy. He looks so strange lying on that examination table, like he's waiting for a doctor.
Yeah, a lot of doctors have examined his body.
Someone examined him? Do you know who? Dr. Regarder and Dr. Gossner got to examine Ötzi really close up.
Perhaps we can together try to know more about his death, if you want.
Great. First, they studied the skin and the whole surface of the body. Then they took all kinds of X-ray pictures of him from different angles. Hey, look at this. Kind of looks like a cut.
Yes, we found one important cut on the right hand between the two fingers. This cut was very deep.
Ötzi had a knife with him. Maybe he accidentally cut himself. Or maybe he got into some trouble with somebody who had a knife just like it. Dr. Gossner tells me that this three-dimensional picture of Ötzi can reveal some hard-to-see details. Look at that shape. Kind of looks like an arrowhead. Could that be what killed him? This arrow might solve the mystery of Ötzi, the ice mummy.
Just got back from a glacier in the Alps. Yeah. 3 weeks of cold and hardship, but it was totally worth it. Glaciers make the best ice cubes. 10-year-old Richard Edwards of High Wycombe, UK, sent me an email about another icy wasteland where a mysterious creature has been found. Or has it, huh? Take a look on the Mystery Illustrator. Dear Doubting Dave, I saw an article in an old newspaper that said that somewhere in Siberia, explorers found something that looked like a Yeti frozen in ice. They also said that scientists are defrosting it slowly using hair dryers. Is this true? Well, Richard, a strange creature was found in the ice in Siberia, and scientists did defrost it using a type of blow dryer. But it wasn't a Yeti. It was actually a woolly mammoth that died thousands of years ago and got preserved in the ice. So how does a body get preserved in ice? You've got dandruff. It gets freeze-dried, just like instant coffee or the meals astronauts eat in space. You see, ice turns into a gas at really high altitudes, sort of like how water turns into a gas when you heat it. So if something dies somewhere cold and high up, like at the top of a mountain, all the water in its body freezes and then turns into a gas. Without water, the bacteria that make things rot can't live. So the body is preserved. That's what happened to Ötzi the ice mummy and your woolly mammoth. And there are tons more frozen areas in the world that we've never explored, so it's possible that we'll find other animals and people in ice. You got mail. But since there's no proof that Yetis even exist, I doubt we'll be finding one of them anytime soon.
Tom Thomson left on a fishing trip and never returned. What happened to him? Here at the town archives, I found a tape recording with an important clue. Listen to this.
Well, they had this fight, and Tom was knocked out completely. He took Tom's body and put it into a canoe and dropped it in the lake. And that's how he died.
That's the voice of Daphne Crombie. She was at Canoe Lake when Tom Thomson died. She says a man by the name of Shannon Fraser killed Thomson. Could that be what Tom's ghost is trying to tell the people who say they've seen him?
Hi, how you doing?
Dave Stanfield works at this camp. What can you tell me about Shannon Fraser?
Well, he was a good friend of Tom's, and he confessed to his wife that he'd killed Tom.
Yeah, but why would Fraser kill Thomson?
Well, I don't think he meant to. Shannon and Tom had a fight over money, so they got into a bit of a fight, a pushing match. Tom fell over backwards and hit his head on the fireplace grate. Shannon, I guess, sort of freaked out, thought he'd killed his friend, and got his wife up, and they disposed of the body by dumping it in the lake with a weight tied around the ankle, and just set the canoe adrift.
That would explain why his body didn't show up for 9 days. He was weighed down with a rock. And since he was unconscious when Fraser put him into the lake, he wouldn't have swallowed any water like most people do when they drown. Looks like all the evidence points to Fraser. But wait, when did you say that fight happened?
The night before Thomson disappeared.
But how is that possible? Mark Robinson saw Thomson the morning he disappeared. Fraser couldn't have killed him the night before. If Shannon Fraser didn't kill Tom Thomson, then who or what did?
I think that what killed Tom Thomson was not human.
Not human?
We'll be right back with more Mystery Hunters. We now return to Mystery Hunters.
If ice mummy didn't freeze to death on a glacier over 5,000 years ago, then what killed him?
Kind of looks like an arrowhead. Could that be what killed him?
Yes, we believe that the arrowhead is the most important reason for his death.
They say he bled to death up on that cold mountain. It took half a day for his wounds to kill him. So Ötzi wasn't alone on the glacier after all. He must have met someone up here, and they got into a fight. Ötzi was left here to die, but who would shoot him like that? And why? This village was built to show how life would have been 5,000 years ago when Ötzi was alive. People made their own clothes, tools, and bread. They also kept animals like sheep and goats for food and clothing. Maybe Ötzi was a shepherd. Luisa Pedrotti is an archaeologist. She studies what Ötzi's life might have been like. I think I figured out how Ötzi died. He was shot in the back with an arrow. But why?
Perché? È una bella risposta, è una bella domanda questa.
She says Ötzi lived in very violent times. The tribes here were always at war. Maybe Ötzi met up with someone who wanted to steal his livestock or his tools. But Ötzi was found with all of his weapons. Wouldn't they have taken those too?
Cosa dici, Christina?
She says that's true. If they'd wanted to rob him, they would probably have taken his valuable copper axe. So if he wasn't robbed, could there be another explanation for what happened to Ötzi on that glacier? This arrow is just like the ones people would have used in Ötzi's village. And this is what the arrow found in Ötzi looked like. They're a match, which means that whoever attacked Ötzi could have come from his own village. Remember that copper axe? Ötzi must have been someone important to own such an expensive tool. Maybe somebody in Ötzi's village was jealous and wanted to get rid of him. Could he have been killed in a struggle for power? We know how Ötzi died, but we still can't be sure who did it and why. Another hunting party, thieves, or if Ötzi was important and powerful in his village, maybe it was someone from there who wanted him out of the way. I guess the secret of what happened to him up here will remain frozen in time.
Some people don't believe that Tom Thomson accidentally drowned, but no one has ever been accused of killing him. So how do you think Tom Thomson died?
I think that what killed Tom Thomson was not human.
Bernie Shaw thinks Tom was killed by a waterspout. Waterspouts are small tornadoes that can happen over lakes like this one.
If you can imagine him paddling along.
Thomson liked to fish while he canoed, so he'd leave a fishing line in the water as he paddled.
He may well have tied a loop around one ankle.
So he could have attached that line to his own ankle, leaving his hands free to paddle his canoe while waiting for a fish to tug at his leg. Then a waterspout could have sprung up, twirling his canoe around and around until he got all tangled up, and he might have been hit on the head by his own paddle. But are there waterspouts on Canoe Lake?
There are certainly waterspouts in the area. There's numerous deaths of experienced canoeists which have never been explained. Perhaps they were hit by a vortex, as I think Tom was.
Finally, a theory I can prove. All I need to do now is find out what the weather was like the day Thomson disappeared.
The weather on that particular day determines everything.
Phil Chadwick is a meteorologist who also likes to paint the Canadian wilderness. He spent time out on lakes, like Canoe Lake where Tom Thomson disappeared. Do you believe a waterspout could have killed Tom Thomson?
In theory, a waterspout could catch somebody by surprise. They have been recorded at speeds of 160 kilometers per hour.
So was the weather right for a waterspout on the day Tom Thomson disappeared?
July 8, 1917, it was cloudy, cool, with an easterly wind. These are not the conditions for a waterspout formation.
So it seems like there's no one explanation that can prove what really happened to Tom Thomson here that day. Is the phantom canoeist still paddling this lake? Trying to tell people what really happened? All I know is I never saw him. Maybe one day we'll find out what really happened to Tom Thomson. Doubting Dave?
Hey, Araya, did you figure out what happened to Tom Thomson?
Well, some people believe he was killed by a sudden, small tornado.
A sudden, small tornado? I doubt it. I mean, hang on, someone's beeping through.
Dave, I'm in Italy. Our base camp was just hit by a sudden small tornado.
What? You're kidding.
No! These things are a menace.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We'll make a mini tornado in the lab, study its weaknesses, then we'll know how to fight them. Your hair's a mess. Catch. You can make your own tornado at home. All you need is 2 clear plastic soda bottles with the labels removed so you can see inside. And make sure they're both empty. You also need a rubber washer, duct tape, and some brightly colored fruit juice. Now, a real tornado is created by swirling winds, but we're gonna make your tornado out of juice. Fill one of the bottles about 2/3 full of juice. Then put the washer on the mouth of the bottle. Now, turn the other bottle upside down and put it on the washer. Then, tape the 2 bottles together. Turn the bottles over so the full one is on top. Swirl the bottles to start the juice spinning. Then put them down and watch your juice tornado form. This juice tornado is the same kind of natural phenomenon as a real tornado. It's called a vortex. But a real tornado vortex forms when warm air rises up into a thunderstorm and gets spun like a top by winds coming from different directions. Now, this is just one kind of vortex we see in nature, but there are tons more, like water going down your drain, hurricanes, and even galaxies.
Doubting Dave, there's another small tornado coming our way. Did you figure out how to fight them yet?
Maybe an umbrella, or...
I can't hear you! Hello?
Christina!
Dave, come in! Hello, Dave!
Tina?
Gotcha!
You guys.
Remember,
Things aren't always what they seem.
Thanks for watching.
This is MeTV, Providence, New Bedford's home for memorable entertainment television. That's memorable.